Hey robot makers, it's the end of 2023 and I thought it'd be really fun to look back at the year and maybe share some stories of things that happened during the year. So let's take a look, shall we? So yes, we're going to be reviewing 2023 and having a look at some of the stats. So first of all, some interesting stats, interesting to me anyway, compared to previous years. So yes, top 5 videos. Some of these are similar to the last year and the year before. This shows you that some of these videos are quite evergreen and people keep coming back to watch them. So we have the how to build your own AI assistant in Python. That seems to be very popular. And also the one about Arduinos and Python. So can you run Python on an Arduino? The simple answer is, of course, you can't do that. But you can do something where you run Python on a main machine and control an Arduino using Pyformata, which is a firmware that goes on the Arduino. The Pico web server was very popular and remains to be. Also is Node-RED and the LiDAR mapping. We'll have to do some LiDAR mapping in 2024 as well. You can see some of the stats for the lifetime of the channel. So we've had 520 videos produced so far. We're just shy of 25,000 subscribers on the channel now, just at 23,656 as the snapshot was taken on the 22nd of December. And this year we had 795,207 views so far, the snapshot. We have 104,000 watch hours as well, which is just insane when you think about that. And then look at this growth rate. This is across the entire length of the channel from 2021 through to 2023. And you can see that it grows at a nice consistent state. And then around about, when's that? February, March, May, around about April time, there seemed to be a bit of a fall off. Now, I don't know if this was just a seasonal thing or whether this was something specific to a tweak in the YouTube algorithm. Who knows? This is probably around the time when shorts were being pushed out a lot more, so some of the attention was grabbed, I guess, because the app was changed slightly. So there's a bit of a dip there, and you can see we'll recover through the year. You can also see there a massive spike, and that's kind of compressing down all the other usual views with this very high spike, and that's because that was when Raspberry Pi 5 was launched, and I did a couple of videos around that. So some other interesting numbers. So how do people find me? Interestingly, the YouTube search is slightly less than it was the previous year, but that's because some of the other external browse features, suggested videos, I think the suggested videos is a lot more, which is good. We want that to be the case. And some of the traffic searches. So how did people find the content? Not surprisingly, MicroPython, which is my passion, Raspberry Pi 5, Raspberry Pi 5 projects, Arduino and Python, that seems to be a popular topic. Got the Raspberry Pi debug probe, that one came out earlier in the year, and obviously that created a spike of interest. And then we've got some of the usual kind of search terms with smiles at the bottom there as well. So let's have a look at January. What did I create in January? So I did a whole series on ROS, so how to use ROS, how to install it, and the kind of things that you can do with it. So I did quite a number of videos on that, and also one at the end which was an eye mechanism, which was for Bubo. So way back in January I started working on Bubo, which is where this eye mechanism video came about. Now interestingly, those videos that have got that yellow background, they're popular videos. They're ones that score in the top 10 percentile of all the videos I've created to date. So I had 2 robots created in January and also 2 popular videos as well. So February next, so I worked more on Bubo, as you can expect. I was getting that ready for the Makers event. I also received Bittle, which is a dog I've been wanting to get for quite some time now. Here's Bittle. You can see that I put a Barbie head on it because why not? So this is my Bittle dog there. So I did an unboxing and a review of that. It's one of my fun favoritist things that I've received so far. Then did some videos on servo easing, the probe as well, which we talked about before, and obviously how to create and tweet using Instagram and Python. So that was some of the software for Bubo. So I had 2 robots created and 1 popular video. So in March, I worked a bit on Pico Crab. I do need to return back to that one. I don't feel that one was sort of satisfactorily finished off. I did a video on watering plants, using the Pimoroni plant watering system. That's their EnviroGrow product. And I played around with Grafana dashboards as well to capture some of the weather data that I've got from my weather station. We then looked at how to power robots, and one of the popular videos that's on here, this is quite a popular one, which is the how to build your own ChatGPT-like language model in Python on a Raspberry Pi. And then we had the Pip-Boy there as well. So I created 1 robot in March and 1 popular video. So in April, we had quite a number of different videos there. You can see it's a really mixed bag there. So we started out with Lego and how Mindstorms has evolved. We then went on to an IKEA headlamp, which is just behind me, just there. That was quite a fun one to do. I then did a project update, just sort of showing you what I had as work in progress, because I've always got a few things on the go there. I then did a video for MicroPython, which is the mastering GPIO pins. So that was for the course that I'd started there. So the Inventor Hat Mini, that was a new product from Pimroni. It's one of my favourite Raspberry Pi hats. This means you can build robots very simply, and you can include things like sound, as well as controlling the motors very accurately with encoders. So it was Alex's birthday in April. She was 21, so I made her a Pico-powered birthday card, and that managed to make its way into the Raspberry Pi magazine as well. Then the line following robot, so I added some line following hardware to BurgerBot so that it could go around on a track. So I created one robot in April and had no popular videos in there. So next up, May, this was the Maker Central event month. So I was intending to walk around with chip on my shoulder because I had a chip on my shoulder. Not actually finished off chip there. There's a few challenges there with some of the software, and I also needed some battery power. So I've now invested in a new battery charger. This one's from Pimroni, along with a new battery as well. This is an Outlander battery. They were actually part of the recommended stuff for the Yukon kit, so I'm going to try experimenting with that, and these new XT60 or XT30 type connectors as well. So that's probably going to make its way onto chip as well in the future in 2024. We then looked at some object-oriented programming for robots, and then we had the Maker Central event, so I took a bit of time out to do that. And I did a show on the shortage being over for Raspberry Pi, so we started to see some green shoots there of more availability of Raspberry Pis, because 2023 early on and mostly throughout 2022 you couldn't really get a hold of Raspberry Pis very easily. So one robot created in May, no popular videos in there. So the Maker Central event was absolutely fun. It's my first public Maker event that I went to in person. I didn't have a stall there, I just sort of turned up with a boobot on my shoulder. So I can see I met Nerdforge there and Hansa, met Zyla Foxlin, which was fantastic, I had a nice chat with her. Saw Johnny 5, so Ryan's Johnny 5 robot is amazing. If you get a chance to see that in person, absolutely take that. See the bottom middle there, that's me talking to Ben from MeArm. He created the MeArm robot, and you can see that on the right hand bottom, that's me and Matt from Not Enough Tech. So yeah, hopefully we'll do a bit more work with Matt in the future. So in June, this was quite a short month. I had a holiday in June while there's less videos. So assembling the MeArm, I'd met Ben, I think he sent me a kit. I had to play with that, so that we did a video on that one. Part 2, the MicroPython GPIO course, and I got this fantastic robot from Electfreaks, which is the XGO with a Compute Module 4 on board as well. So it's similar to the Bitly. So I've got an XGO here. I think its battery's flat at the moment. I'll try switching it on, but I think I need to give that one a bit of a charge because it's been a while since I've used this one. So it's quite cool. It has this arm on here, and it's got very articulatable arms and legs, so it can do an awful lot. And inside the front there's a Compute Module 4, so very, very powerful. Even has a little camera on board too. So really love this. I really love the build quality of it as well. So 2 robots created, no popular videos in June. So in July, I worked on more of my course material in the background for kevsrobots.com website, created 3 robots and had 1 popular video. So the popular video was on Bluetooth. So around about this time in July, Raspberry Pi launched the new update in MicroPython, which enabled Bluetooth to start working. So we had Wi-Fi, but we couldn't actually use the Bluetooth. So this was a popular video and continues to be a popular video. So it's how can you actually use the Bluetooth to do something interesting with robots. So something like making a remote control to control a robot, for example. And that's what I did in that particular video. I also worked on videos on how to use Pico graphics from Pimroni. They have a fantastic graphics library, and it means you can draw all kinds of graphics on their big displays and small displays as well. I did a couple of other videos of the creating databases. That was quite a cool one to do. I just love Python, so anything that where I can use Python to share more knowledge on that one is a good video for me. The no code robot, this was using VM, so VM sent me a rover robot, which I absolutely love. I'm going to be doing a lot more with VM, I suspect, in 2024. And then the last one there is how to build some googly eyes that can Google what they see. So the idea here was I'd seen some googly eyes. These people keep sticking them on all kinds of things, and I thought, wouldn't it be really fun if you could make some eyes that follow you around the room? And then I was thinking, that's probably been done before. What else could we do with large language models and things like ChatGPT and DALL-E? So what I thought I would do is I would capture an image from the Raspberry Pi camera that's in the middle of the eyes. I would then send that image off to ChatGPT. ChatGPT would then return back precisely what is in that image, and you could get it to describe that in very poetic ways or very snarky ways. All kinds of fun there. So that was a project on how to do that one. So I created 3 robots and had that 1 popular video, which is the remote control one. So in August, this was about PCBs this particular month, if there's a theme to this month. So I showed how to design PCBs in Fusion 360, a really fun process to do that. I had to play around with RetroPie on the Picade and also on an Atari 2600 that I created a case for. And I also created some Bluetooth remote controls. So using the new Bluetooth functionality in MicroPython, I was able to design a PCB, get that shipped off and sent back. So you can see the 2 weeks between those two videos. So when they return back after producing them, I could then use it. So it actually does work. So this is one of the blanks I created from that particular video, and you simply just solder in place there a Raspberry Pi Pico and some tactile switches, attach some power, and you've got a nice remote control. So probably going to work on this and do another couple of iterations on this so I can make this a sellable product, because it's quite a fun thing. I then did a video on over-the-air updates. You can do this with Arduino, of course, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun if you could do this with MicroPython? So I wrote some code that could check a GitHub repository, check for the latest version of a file or set of files, and then bring them across to your device and then update it. And then finally we had the CuteBot Pro review, which is a really fun robot that I got from Electfreaks as well. So no robots created other than that Electfreaks one, which I didn't really build, and no popular videos in August. So in September, we had the Raspberry Pi 5 launch, and I'd been party to this information. I can't remember if it was August or September when I found out about the Raspberry Pi. They sent me a sample unit. I had number 12, I believe. There's a little tag on it with 12 written on it. And yes, so I had to keep that under my hat and plan what I was going to do. And I thought this could be a really good opportunity for me and my channel to sort of have a bit of growth, because everybody loves Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi 5 is a significantly new product, and it's the one that people have been waiting for. So leading up to that point, I was sort of working on stuff in the background and working on some interviews that I'll be doing with people. Early on in September, I did the 8x8 display, so how to control these with MicroPython. I did a review video from some kit I got from Temu, basically the junk, buy one, regret one free. We did one on the SMARS, the Ultimate Robots, how to use SMARS, and then I did a video on the heat inset tool, which Naomi Wu sent me. So thank you for that one, Naomi. Still owe you one for that. We had two videos which were very popular, non-surprisingly. So the first one was with Chris Barnett, from explainingcomputers.com. He was really gracious to give me quite a bit of time and talk about his thoughts on the Raspberry Pi 5. Then we had an interview with Jeff Geerling, again very gracious to spend his time with me. I messed up the audio on that one a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't interfere with the content of the video too much when you watch that. And then I had an interview with Eben Upton himself, so the co-founder of Raspberry Pi. He gave me a bit of time at the Pi headquarters, so I had a fun day going down to Cambridge and meeting the team there and spending a bit more time with my friend Toby there as well. And then the actual launch, so the Raspberry Pi 5 launch video, I did a first look on that, and that one was quite a fun video to do as well. So I had a fantastic time going down to the Pi headquarters, and they showed me their new headquarters that was under wraps at the time, so that was another secret that I couldn't share. I've got some pictures of that before they've moved in, so I believe they've now fully moved into that as they've been sharing it on social media. I created one video and had two popular videos in September, so that was a good month for the channel. So next up, October. So following on from that, I had a couple of videos. Again, not surprisingly, one of them was a popular video, and that was on Raspberry Pi 5 projects that you have to make. And this is projects that really utilize that extra power and capability of the Raspberry Pi 5. So I did a hands-on video. I did one about how to do facial recognition and how fast that is on a Raspberry Pi 5. And then obviously the project one. I think the thumbnail is really good on the Raspberry Pi 5 projects video. That one was something I'd sort of pictured in my mind and wanted to get just right. So the other thing in October as well that I forgot to mention is that I went to Rome. I went to the Maker Faire in Rome in the Fiera di Roma exhibition centre, which is a massive place. So I went there on my own as well with a suitcase full of robots. I was really frightened that I would get stopped by security and they would tear all my robots apart. But that didn't happen at all. It was like a really easy commute to the place on the plane. No issues at all there. So yeah, really fantastic event. Pretty exhausting. I flew down. The next day was the sort of build-up day where you build up your stall. So it's just stall holders. And then the next 3 days, so the Friday, Saturday and Sunday was the exhibit itself, and then I flew back on the Monday back home. So a pretty exhausting event, but totally worth it. Got to meet Massimo Banzai from the Arduino creator. That was a highlight for me. And then in November, so because of that, I thought I would do a video on the Arduino Cloud because they were pushing that on their store then. I thought I've not really used this, or when I had it, it was quite early on, and they've actually changed it since I did that video and made it even better. So this was how to use an Internet of Things and Arduino Cloud and the Arduino Nano ESP32. So I got sent a fun kit, which is the PyCar X, so I reviewed that one, and I did the video on Pandas as well. Again, really like Python. I thought that'd be a fun one to do. And then I think the thumbnail's not quite right on this DIY toothbrush one. I tried doing an AI generated image, and it doesn't really showcase what the video's about. So I've still got the toothbrush here. Again, that's kind of a project I need to finish off perhaps in 2024, but all the gubbins are there. Just need to finish off the work there. And finally December, so this month, so I did the Omnibot, which is just behind me actually. I am going to finish that one off. That's a fun project. So I added the Yukon to that particular robot. So yes, I've got the Pimroni Yukon, which is one of their new boards, and it's a modular board, which means you can add all kinds of extra modules to drive things like LED strips, motors and so on, and even a speaker. So I got from eBay an Omnibot, and then I refitted it with the Yukon so I could program it with MicroPython. So I did an LED strip into the dome, nice LEDs behind the eyes, so they can, instead of just flashing red, they can now glow any colour. And there's also, the motors work fine, and also the speech works as well inside, so that just plays MP3s back in effect, or WAV files. Then the ELF detector, so this was a fun one. I thought this one would do better because I really like the thumbnail on this one. This again uses a bit of AI to create the thumbnail image of the ELF. But this was a fun project to do, and also it used VM, which is a nice piece of software platform for robotics, so it can do all the kind of complex machine learning, putting all that together and then just giving you the machine learning model fully trained in a matter of minutes. I think it's like 3 minutes to build it. And then there's this video, so I didn't know what to put on this one, but here we are. This is the video, the last one, second to last one of December. One robot created, no popular videos in December. So let's have a look at 1 year's worth of output in the forms of thumbnails. So you can see there, here's all the videos that I created in 2023. So each video takes quite a lot of time preparation beforehand. I usually spend the evenings of the working week working on the particular week's video. I'll be writing up all the materials for the website. I'll be testing out, doing the grind, as Chris says on his videos, doing the grind, making the thing work, learning all the lessons of the how to build the thing or how to make the thing work. And then on the Sunday, I will do a video, a live stream of how to do the same kind of thing. So yeah, you can see all the different videos we have there. It's always crazy when I look back at this and think, this is how many things I've created through the year. So in 2023, I also introduced courses to kevsrobots.com. I've been wanting to do this for some time, and on smarsfan.com, I've kind of played around with this a little bit, but I've not really made it a slick system. So what I wanted to do was create a bunch of markdown files, so very simple plain text files with the content of the course, some imagery, some thumbnails and some images that support the learning material, and also then the structure of that course as a YAML file, yet another markdown file. So this is like structured data, the content, and then I wrote a Python program that could take all that and then it could automatically build a course from that. So I created that course system and then started to build out all these different courses. So learning ROS with me at the beginning of the year sort of was the first course to be published on there. Then a Python 101, so how to learn Python. Redis, I did a video and also some content on that for the website. And then I brought across the Smars content as well from smarsfan.com. I then did MicroPython from scratch. A lot of people wanted to know about how to use MicroPython from the very beginning, and I thought videos are not always the way that people learn, so I'll do some written materials as well. And then programming a robot, a Smars robot in C++. So this is the Arduino code for the Smars robot. I then did a course on SQLite 3, which is supporting the SQLite video that I did, and vice versa. You can guess the middle one there is Pandas. We then had how to use the learning system. I did a very short course on that. I then did one on, is that microbits? I can't remember what that one is actually. Then we had the Smars Quad, how to design a robot using Fusion 360, computer vision using OpenCV, MicroPython, mastery of the GPIO pins, and how to build your own burger bot as well. I think there's another one about the eye mechanism for Boobop, but that didn't fit nicely on the screen there. So all these courses are focused on a single subject, completely free. There's no sign up. You just go to the website and start learning right away. A really great resource for people, particularly in education or if you're just getting started in robotics. And you can start yourself learning that today as well, just by going to kesrobots.com/learn/ and then you can pick for any of the learning pathways. So the pathway is essentially a set of courses that are all related to the same subject, like Python or robotics or 3D design, and then you can basically just take the courses in that order, and hopefully that knowledge will build on itself. So I've got some predictions for 2024. I thought this would be a fun thing to do, and then maybe look back at the end of 2024 and see how crazy these were or not. So I'm pretty certain that we're going to get the Raspberry Pi Compute Module 5 out this year as well. I think they've already talked about that one previously. When I had the interview with Eben, he did mention that. So it's more of a certainty than a prediction, I'll guess that one. What is a prediction, and maybe completely wrong on this one, but maybe a Pico 2. So I think the Raspberry Pi Pico, got my toothbrush one here, I wonder if they're going to develop that in any other form factor or any other capabilities. What other things could they add to that? Maybe perhaps a bit more RAM in there, or more GPIO. I don't know, maybe make that even faster. If you compare it with, say, an ESP32, they can run a bit quicker and also have a bit more RAM. So maybe the Pico 2 could build upon the Pico's existing base. Raspberry Pi Display 2, so they did talk about this a while ago, and I'm surprised we didn't see it this year, but the existing display, I think it's only like a HD display, might not even be HD, it might be like 600 by 800, can't remember, but I think it's probably time that we have a new display, so I predict we'll probably get one of those because it's an easier one for them to work upon. I think we'll get some faster Python as well. There's a lot of trend at the moment about Mojo, so I think Mojo will continue to trend. It's like Python, but it's a separate language. I do need to look into this a bit more, so I'll probably do a video on this on 2024. So it uses the Python language, but it's backed by a much faster compiler. So we'll see how that actually works. So yeah, that's one to watch, I think, for 2024. And I also think Internet of Things and large language models will get more innovation in that space as well. So let's see what happens. Think about more Internet of Things that are able to use that vast large language model for intelligence. So that's what I predict for 2024. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below, and we'll can check back in a year's time. So if you like what I do and you want me to make more of these videos, please consider giving this video a like. Drop me a comment. Let me know your predictions for 2024, or if you're watching this in 2025 or in the future, let me know your predictions for that year ahead. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means a lot to me, helps my channel see that it's growing, and means we're moving in the right direction there. I do have a new video every single Sunday at 7 o'clock GMT, or British Summertime, which is ever the local time at the time. Usually I say these are live streams. I might be switching in 2024 to do more pre-recorded videos, just because that's the direction I would like to go in there. So if you haven't joined our Discord, you're missing out. So go over to kevsrobots.com/Discord. There is a sign up link there, just asking for your email address, but then it can send out the link to you, and then you can join our growing community. It's a really vibrant community, a lot of people helping each other out on there, so consider joining that too. And if you want to follow me on social media, I am all over social media, so you can find me on Threads at Kevin McAleer at threads.net. I'm on TikTok occasionally, Kevin McAleer 6. I'm on Instagram, I think that's probably one of the most used ones, that and Threads, so at Kevin McAleer. I'm on X as well, at KevsMac. Wonder if that'll still be around in 2024. That'd be an interesting prediction. I'm also on Mastodon at kevsmac at mastodon.social, and I'm also on Blue Sky as well, so kevsmac at bsky.social on there as well. You get all kind of behind the scenes pictures. If you want to support the channel, there's a number of different ways you can do that as well. You can get your name in the credits simply going to kesrobots.com/coffee. You can do a super thanks or a super chat depending whether you're watching the live streams or watching on replay. And you can also join the YouTube membership program as well, just by clicking that join button at the bottom of the video. So time to give a shout out to my supporters. So if you want to support the channel, you can do that by going over to kesrobots.com/coffee, and you can get your name in the credits below, or you can just do /credits. I think it takes you to the same place. So we have Jason, we have Roland, Gunter, we have Asadola here. We have two other people who wanted to remain nameless. They bought me coffees. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. I'm a big coffee drinker. Mary Louise Mayer, we've got Jeff Johnson, Deanne Corty, Marlene Brent, Tom Shemi, Steve Phillips. And over on the YouTube membership side, we have Alistair Ware, Jean-Paul Jolly, we've got Cassie, Dale from Hybrid Robotics, we've got Tinkering Rocks, JDM, Johnny Bates, Bill Hoy, Orksrad39, Handsome Cheerlights, Michael, and of course Tom. So if you enjoyed this video, hopefully you enjoy these other video suggestions just here, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.